and then get the feedback from the monitor. And then I will continue painting these guys. Big bugs from space. They belong to the Warhammer 40k universe. Tyranids, eater of worlds, to consume everything, to create their own army. Here we go. Yes, I'm good. Okay, so bizarrely enough, my previous live hasn't been featured on the channel, so it was possible to see it live. But usually there is the rediffusion of it, and here I haven't had that. So okay, I think yes, you can see well here. The focus is good. You can check. Okay, so I'm doing now this color, which is adding all the psychic effects you see here. Everything that is white will we still have some here underneath the base coat, airbrushed coat. Most of it is has been airbrushed, and so now I'm adding the detailed work. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this one is a bit more advanced. You see there is a bit more. It's a screamer killer, so I want to represent the fact that what he's about to spit. He has it like in the throat and the rib cage here. And so if you compare with this one, yeah, okay, you see here is more pronounced than here. And so now I'm just doing that. I may use this also as a shade, and this as well, you know, no big deal. I'm just paint and stream, you know, and just see what we get. This is all right. Now to this guy here, so just taking some green, putting it on the model, and that's the coming step. And this is meant for gaming purpose, so there is no need to be surgical. As long as it is clean and conveys the effect, then we're good. Okay. So I've seen the drops on the tone, no problem. I'm going to get rid of it. If I can't, I'll just paint over it with some purple, and it will be done. Good. Easy peasy. I will do also the other tone of the other guy. Also, he will benefit from another layer with that dark purple. With a bit of water. The thing is, if the paint is diluted enough, you don't really need to spend time like glazing to make the transitions. Just go ahead and with the transparency and check. Yes, with the transparency, the how to say, the blend will be just natural. So okay. So now we have this guy. Just like I said, tabletop. You know, like let's say pleasing tabletop, but I mean it's not for display or competition. And because I'm painting 4 bugs at the same time, so I have 2 screamer killers, 1 Norn Emissary, and 1 Old One Eye. And except the Norn Emissary, they have been 3D printed. It's not for me, it's a commission painting. So I'm painting for somebody as part of painting activities I do. And yeah, I think it's very interesting to work on that as well, because you could see that the effects don't need to be overworked to just read well on the miniature. And I think it's very important to understand that it doesn't need to be perfect to work, because that is very encouraging. As long as it is slightly clean enough, and a little bit here, there would be some everything. So here, cleaning a bit, just a little bit. There is a slice of green here. I don't really care. As long as it is well placed and well organized on the miniature, it will look good. And so that is way more important. Hi, Kakarot. Oh yes. IB the Pro. What color is that? It is mint green from AK 11143. And I like it because it's very cold, it's very blue, and so goes well with this spectral gray. Who is that? This is a Screamer Killer. So it's a miniature meant for the game Warhammer 40k. Space bugs invading the galaxies. Because the scale of the thing, I'm not much, connoisseur on all the fluff and the stories, but I think the universe is huge. And so there are these guys who have been encountered with the human race and other races, because it's a sci-fi setting where there are many races, aliens and humans. And the most famous, I'm new to painting, I have airbrush. What prime did you use? Black, paint on iPad, Screamer Killer from Tyranids, look up Leviathan. Yes, exactly, so Leviathan, indeed. Yeah, the primer I used, in fact I airbrushed until the step I'm doing now. Everything here is airbrushed, and you can see because it's very smooth, but it's not well defined. I started on a black primer, then I went with a dark gray, and I think I went with a mix of light gray and dark gray, and now I'm pretty light. There's so much detail. Yes, I'm still trying to keep the flow, going forward and not getting lost in too much details. But yeah, the objective is to make it quick and still have it look good. So I'm not looking for perfect here, which is also an interesting challenge, along with painting for like a higher level, where you can spend hours on the same miniature. Here I try to be faster, but I'm not really a fast painter by any means. So I won't say it's like I gotta go, thank you. Yes, you can check the replay later if you wish. Have a good one. So it's a bit tricky to get there in the rib cage, but I think it's worth the effort, because it will add this kind of inner glow effect. And really, I would not need much more. You see, there is already a feel that something is happening in his rib cage. No blending, nothing really. Just put in some paint in there. And now I will clean up the edges slightly here and there. It's not much of a problem. And if I want to clean up here, I take the light gray and here we go. This is fine, quick enough. For instance, like this. It's so hard to get inside the cracks. Yeah, try to keep it clean is pretty hard. Not the hardest, but you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it perfect, so that's all right. And this is trying to have a quick enough paint job that looks cool, but doesn't need to be perfect. So it's relaxing. So you see, I'm not even blending this edge highlight here, but overall that will have a pretty nice effect because the paint is diluted. Just trying to keep it on the edges. And the contrast with the values will really draw the attention, the eye on here. Okay. My first pass was a bit light, and so here you see now it's a lot more noticeable, although there is not much blending. It's not necessary. And so because it's lighter here, it draws the attention to the center. Okay, I will take something here that's okay, try dark green, maybe try this one, intermediate blue, one of the grays. 6 hours so far. How to say, let me check how many hours I have. 2 half days, that may be 4 hours, and one full day that may be 5 hours, so 9 hours to get to have 4 on the desk. 1, you see here, 2, 3, and the 4th one here. So let me show you, for instance, something here. I went for the highlight of this area here, a bit too strong. So I'm going to, this is also, hey, that's better. Okay. So now my edge highlight doesn't look like a big blob of paint, but just some edge highlight, which is enough, it's okay. You need to be perfect. And now the face. We'll do the edge highlight with this. What paint is that? Pale blue, which in fact has a bit of green in there. So it's a pretty good color choice for what I'm going for here, because the skin has this kind of pale, ghostly blue-gray. And I have this cyan or water blue. It's called, the paint is called mint green for the effects. I can focus on only the raised area. That's a lot better. Paint is a bit too diluted. No blending. In fact, it's not really necessary. Not all the time. I was way off flow. My brother paints figure, but he paints smaller ones. Yeah, that's a big one, but you see the scale here. Even this one is bigger than what would be a human at the scale of the game. So this is meant to be kind of a giant big bug monster. But you can refer to the size with the scale. This is a 32 millimeters scale. If you go maybe history and stuff, usually it's smaller, maybe 28 something. I paint TADC, sorry, I don't know what is TADC. And you see how all of a sudden the face comes out a lot more prominent with the highlight. The amazing digital circus. Well, I'm sorry, I don't know about this. I don't know. Mostly fantasy, sci-fi guy here, so. Okay, if I need the definition, I can do, is this one? Oh yeah, this one is not much cleaner. I'm just comparing because I did the other one. Whoa, here we go. Let me compare these two. Hopefully maybe, oh, how can I do? Yeah, like this. Pretty much the same, right? No need to. Oh, this is a bit lighter, okay. Edges here. So I noticed on the first miniature already did, I missed this, which I think is worthy of attention. Usually, you know, when you learn to paint the highlights, the idea you try to follow is, oh, if it catches the light, then you highlight it, which later, if you get more comfortable painting, let me check also the rib cage. Did I do the same standouts? Pretty much. Okay, just trying to keep the consistency in there. Later, you would start to think that it's not. It is, the theory is correct, but sorry, I'm going to grab another paint here. Yeah, here we go, dark gray. The best is to think it in a different light, if I may say so. The best is to highlight if you want it to catch more attention. And that really is the big difference between a paint job that is following the theory of what it should be and a paint job that is eye-catching. Because, you know, if you look at the best painters and try to scrutinize every decision they make under the theory of what it should be, maybe it does not follow this, and still it looks absolutely gorgeous. And so for me, it took me a long time to, you know, try to understand like what was going on. And I will wash it later. Yes, I will wash it later to regain the definition. Okay, in fact, I think that's all right. For this guy here, let me check the greens. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Let me compare it again here. Yeah, it's pretty much the same values and standard. So let's do the old 1.9 now. Check I haven't forgotten anything that should be green on there. But yeah, it's cool. Okay, the old one, yes, he has a lot less greenery because he has a lot more of this like Hulk, I don't know, the eye for sure. And then I will try to find original ways to incorporate more of that green here that is tying up these beasts together. Okay, something like this. Cool. And then, let me think. So here I see here an opportunity to bring some of this mint green. Let me check if I have anything else. Maybe in these holes there, you see these ones here, although I'm not sure. On the back I have the inside here. This is more for the overall composition. At the back here, yes, okay. So I want something that is transparent, somehow transparent. Oh, yeah, you can see that. And although he has a lot less than the other guys, oops, that's a bit too strong here. I wanted to have some because also the contrast is great between the purple and the magenta and this mint green. So here I'm just touching up, and I have a transparent consistency, so pretty diluted, not too much. So I can keep the natural gradient to a darker base. You see the So I don't know what this is, like some glands or whatever. I have a bit of purple on there at the base here, and so I want to keep that. So you see I have a nice gradient from that purple to something more vivid at the tip. Oh yeah, here it's a very prominent, so it has to be well done because it's very obvious. Something like this. Here we go in the frame, and you see like this transition from the purple to this mint green. I think is I like it, really like it. So I'm happy with the color scheme. This is Leviathan, but kind of have also some freedom to reinterpret things. And I think that first, what I don't like about the official scheme is the exoskeleton. I think it's too yellow. You know, they play with the yellow purple contrasts. I think I like a more bluish gray, almost purplish exoskeleton. I think it's more alien than organic of what we know on Earth. And yeah, I play with the contrast with this mint green. So that's my choice, but whoops. I think you don't need excuses to do whatever you want with the miniature you're painting, so. I think I barely, when I paint, I barely ever follow an official scheme, because I think what's really interesting is creating your own stuff. So you see, just by keeping transparency in the layer, I have this very interesting result. Look at that. How long did it take me? A few seconds. No blending, nothing, just getting the right paint consistency. And for this, you need a wet palette. So wet palette, I've been told it's a hipster tool that is useless, you know, just for the hype, which is absolutely wrong. This is essential tool if you want to paint better. So you can search on YouTube if you don't use a wet palette at that point. You can buy some, it's not super expensive, especially if you consider the drastic change that it brings to the painting possibilities. Mine is a DIY. It's a sponge with some baking paper on it. Works fine. I like to, you know, have my stuff here. Maybe I would do better with let's say a professional wet palette, but then you need to buy, I don't know, the paper that goes with it. I like to have my baking paper is always available, this kind of stuff. And now that I have this coat on the whole thing, I can have a second pass just on the tip to reinforce that gradient. Yes, you can see it here. Cool. Here we go, second pass. Okay, here I will just refine the transition like this. Okay, better. It's a bit of blending, but this is going to catch some attention, and so I'd better do something beautiful. But overall, it's not too time consuming for the result, and that's done. And so now I have beautiful, and it's pretty obvious, you see here, because you have the face, but then the attention will be dragged here to the side by this glowing stuff. And then at the back, I think we have enough greenery at the back to tie it with the other creatures. But just here is my, you know what? I think I will try. You know, I can still, if I don't like it, I can always repaint it, but I will try to have some of that green, not everywhere, but in some areas a little bit where it is very noticeable. So on the head I have a bit of greenery, and then so I need very few around to just make it very visible, and here as well. Oh yeah, I like how it turned out. I can have more passes. So this is pretty diluted, but you see, so I have a gradient. Nice gradient that forms naturally and that I can reinforce. Oh yeah, look at this here, nice strong area of that color. And here I can reinforce that in the center. I think that will be it for the green on this guy. Just some prominent areas. And we have a last pass maybe, or you see here in the center, just to have it stronger here. Or maybe I should need to wait for it to dry more. That's pretty fine here. So that's how, you know, I think the composition matters so much more than the execution. And so that's the good news if you are a beginner painter. But here, for instance, just to bring, my problematic was to bring that green here, like mint green, onto this guy who, you know, has a lot of armor and not much glowing stuff. He seems to be much more of a combat guy than a psychic compared to, for instance, the Norn Emissary. So I have the base coat in white to have this all like mint and greeny colors pop out more. He has the brains and stuff. So it's easy to have a lot of that effects on this guy. Even though, even the Scream Achilles, you see, it's a lot easier because they will spit some plasma stuff and everything. But this guy a lot less. And so I don't want to put the green everywhere because it will, you know, mean that it will change the feel of the miniature, but just in the right areas, 1, 2, 3, and I think for the front, that's just enough. And I will now reinforce it. Now it's dry. I have very thick coat of it. It's undiluted at all, and you see just here and there in the center of this. And so you see it's kind of acting like a highlight. Yeah, and now it's very, very visible here as well. Yeah, and that's enough. That's really enough for this guy. Pretty happy with it. Here, smoothing out the blends a bit. That's I cannot help. I have to, you know, especially that they are pretty, drawing quite a bit of attention, so they deserve a bit more care. Yeah, that will be it. The back, I don't really care now. Yeah, oh, I think it's beautiful. You know, especially for the time spent on it. That's cool. And now to this guy, he's overloaded with this psychic stuff. So here, in all the cracks here, the brains here, I will start with this and that. Oh, Here I have the same kind of glands, so I will do it as well. But for instance, the old one I had just done needed to push a bit more to have it appear somewhere. I think this one I should be more scarce in the application. Overall, it will just be everywhere because yeah, it's easy to overdo things, and the point is still to do the right thing at the right place and not do everything everywhere. And so because you see it's kind of a glaze here, I'm painting, putting the paint on, but there is no blending, there is nothing, just glazing. You can find the techniques you like most. But I just like paint. You see that? I think it looks pretty goddamn fine. Fine enough. Oh, I'll do the eyes as well. For the time spent on it, I mean. And if I have a bit of, like for instance here, I put in some on there. It's just glowing OSL, perfect. Same here. So that's really interesting here to go for, I would say, speed painting, although ultimate speed is not my objective. I still want to, you know, take some joy in the painting and also having it look good. But okay, so here we're pretty good. Let's have another pass on there. Now it's dry. It will help for the transitions, but just on the edges. I will leave this lightest parts in the center. Bring in some saturation and contrast and blend as well. So yeah, the objective I would say is not ultimate speed, it's more the effect. The still good looking effects and just at the right place and the right intensity, and still executed at some form of speed. Yeah, something like this. Okay, and now all the brains and stuff, I will do, yeah, this first. Okay, let's do it. And that's why I had the almost white base coat, so that this covers a lot better. Although, you know, there are AK paints, and if you haven't tried AK paints, they are just magic in a bottle. But yeah, I prefer stronger effect here. Here we go. Can even wipe slightly and get this. Okay, now the other side. And check this retouch slightly where it's needed. Oops, focus. Okay. So I think it works very well with that diluted consistency, because so I can still see the white, and so it gets because it's a blob, it's whiter in the center, so I get this natural highlighting, which is just perfect. So this guy is the one that needs the most work with this, let's say, the psychic effects, because he has the most. He's Norn Emissary. Okay. I will do the tail, and then I will do the brains and stuff, which is for sure the main event on this miniature. Okay, so just like the other one I did, I try to keep first to find a good way to handle the model, and then I keep some transparency, so a consistency that is not too thick, not like this. That is slightly too watery, so it pulls in the recesses, which is not necessarily what I want. I will cover the spikes here. I haven't painted them, but I will paint them with a transparent layer of purple, and it will look like it's glowing slightly or being affected. I don't know how you call these bugs that glow in the dark. It could be kind of the same principle here. I will zoom slightly less because, yes, okay, good. Otherwise, I'm always out of focus. And because here is not detailed work anyway. It's not necessary. Yeah, okay, cool. I'll wait for it to dry before the second coat, otherwise it's just gonna mess the thing. Yeah, okay, let's do the brains on the back. Okay. So now it's dry on the tail, hopefully. Yes. Okay, let's go. So I also have like here pretty diluted consistency, but not too much. Okay, good. Yeah, now let's do the brain. So diluted paint, so it will run in the recesses. More. Yeah, something like this. And I touch up the sides because the white that I have used has really stained around the thing, and so now I'm left with this. I have to kind of work inside the So if I have enough water on the brush, then it's very easy. It flows in the recesses, no problem. Have good transparency, so I keep like dark and the light, so the light in the recesses, to have kind of this inner glow effect. It makes the whole thing easier. So again, just about the paint consistency. Oops. For instance, here I don't have enough water, I can see it, so it doesn't flow and it stays on top, so that's not what I want. So I just add more water to make the paint pool in the recesses. And so the white base coat really was essential, critical for this. Otherwise, it would not really work. The coverage would be a lot lesser. Then I will dry brush a dark color on top of it and to push the contrast further. So it's a several step process, but trust the process is really important. And once the process is done, I will clean up. So now you see there is a bit of dirtiness inherent to the kind of speed I want to keep. Don't want to spend too much time because that's a limited, how to say, time limited paint job. So it's not less interesting. You know, I do everything could be more refined and I spend more time. But I've just done it. I don't know if you have seen on the channel. I have a little mouse, 3D printed mouse from the Dragon Trappers Lodge. I've spent, go to the links. Sorry, which links? And I'm glad to see you've been there the whole time. Something like this. And later, so now I'm painting with, let me show you the paint. This mint green, and I want to add some of this blue green for the variety. You're wondering, do you paint and play or just paint? I just paint. I just paint. That's a fair question. So you see the quick highlight here, just to bring back that glow effect. Diluted paint and dots in the center, and usually that's enough. So I can keep also, hoopla, so here you see it's the problem. Yeah, I've messed up. Yeah, okay. It happens, it's okay. It's not too bad. I will glaze over it to smooth the transition. But you see here it's more subtle. And so it just happens by diluting the paint correctly. So this guy, he needs a bit more work than the others. So first, he's been commissioned to slightly higher standards. And also he's, or has he? Oh no, it's the same standard, it's just a bigger model. Yeah, okay. Has a bit more details and stuff. Oh, okay, I think it's fine. I am definitely procrastinating. Of course, the core of the work would be the brains here. I like to do the rest before the most important. So the best for last? Yes, keeping the best for last. First reloading the palette. I'll do a second glaze on these tentacles at the back of the head. Just to gain some vibrancy and saturation. But the second pass is even faster than the first. Okay, the other side. Oh, the other side is slightly better. Okay. Except some areas where the coverage is a bit more. Maybe I went over it a bit too quick. Here and there, I see it. Okay. Here too. Okay, yes. Taming this slightly. It's a bit too bright. Again with an overall glaze on the whole thing. Yeah, something like this, okay. Let me see. Oh yeah, the eyes would need again a second coat. Okay. Yeah. The unavoidable has to be done now. Oh, it's not too hard. The main brain. I can glaze over it, no problem. That would be the OSL, the glowing light. What's your favorite part of the painting process, like the priming, glazing, for example? That's an interesting question. Let me think. Glazing. I love glazing. That's true. As I think it's one of the technique I would use the most. And whether or not it's meant to be very refined. So for instance, this guy here, he's not meant to be really refined. But yeah, in fact, I like painting NMM. That would be my favorite part. Also the coloring parts and the OSL. Especially the NMM I like from the first stages to the last, because the whole thing is kind of a bet. You see a gamble. The glowing and OSL needs a bit of preparation work, like I'm doing now, and so I'm not a fan of the first stages, but I like the last stages. But yeah, priming, not a fan. Varnishing, this stuff, everything that he's done with can, I don't like. Airbrush, I think is good because I have results quickly, but I don't really like the airbrush because I don't know. I have a tight grip on the airbrush, and it hurts when I paint like for 4 hours or something. Even the brush, you see how it marks the finger. And so the airbrush is even worse in that regards. So I like the results, but I don't really like the process. Here I don't really like what I'm doing now, because it's slightly messy and it runs a bit everywhere, but it's part of the process. So yeah, I would say a bit of everything. And if I have to pick one, it would be NMM. If I can pick two, it would be NMM and OSL. The simple techniques that bring quick results, they're always great, but it's good for the results, not that the process is particularly pleasing. And if we talk of satisfaction, I have more satisfaction putting in the work and getting good results rather than tricks. I don't know. So that's the most critical part of the brain now, because it's the most obvious. Although there is no reason for it to go wrong, so no problem. But here, yeah, having something that is not even, I think is better, because it's a state of flowing energy. There would be some spikes and some lower, let's say, voltage of energy. And so having some areas stronger than others I think is exactly what you would be looking for. And here I'm painting with the green. I can glaze a bit over the white stuff I have that I base coated, because white really stains a lot, and so trying to get that back in line. So here it's very interesting. I have these patterns on it. I will just glaze over it with that green, and so they won't look white. Hopefully, I'm ready to, you know, make up for the mistake. Hopefully that could look cool, like some energy, free energy, kind of dripping off the brains and going on the armor here. That's a bit too strong, but okay. Something pretty random is fine, because yes, this energy is untamed, so here reinforcing a bit. And basically now I have to wait for it to dry before the second pass. I may have a bit of work on there again. I think I will introduce my blue right now. Let me check. I don't know. You see, it's not too bad, right? Now that I've covered the thing, I think another pass will look even better. And then I will fix the little mistakes, but at the end, because we never far away from a happy mistake, and some marks would just turn to look pretty cool if they are well used. And so I think that's a very interesting part of the hobby, of the painting. Leverage everything you can. And in fact, sometimes I find that my painting looks better when it's a bit more organic and less controlled. And when every brush stroke is measured and stuff, sometimes is necessary. If you look on my channel, I've just published, so there is a picture of the end result as a post, YouTube post, in the post section on the channel, but you can see the live I painted, a little mouse. There was a lot of detail on there. And so now I'm just taking some black to work on this here, pretty diluted, pretty light, and then first with the black and then with the purple, so transparent, so I can keep that greenery in there. First the black to darken the base coat, because for all the rest of the purple I've started on a dark base coat, and so if I don't darken this part before applying the purple, it will not look the same. Okay, and so I will do the same here, in fact. More water, maybe. To differentiate it from the tentacle itself. And then swiping on the outside, so I still get the black in the recesses. Okay. Now I think the brains are dry, so okay. The black is dry too, so I'll do the purple now right away. Let's have a look. And if it works, fine. Yeah, purple, check. Like this, quick and efficient, no problem. Okay. I might as well use it to correct some of these stuff to see how it works, if it works well or not. For instance, this, you see, it's a bit too obvious to me. So all these tiny mistakes from the white, I want to hide a bit. So it has to, it's better be a glaze, something subtle. Better have several glazes. I said I would do it at the end, but I cannot control myself here. And if it's just some glaze, that's not a huge impact, so that's all right. Here as well, it's way too dirty to my taste. And contrast is still very important for the effect to just look stronger. Then I will highlight again with the lighter purple up to magenta that we have already. Here you can see on the highest highlights, but it's progressive. If I do it too harsh, well, it will look harsh. I want it to look still nice and smooth. But because it's my base coat, it's the same color as my base coat, this is fine. Okay, this is harsher, no problem. Important cleanup happening here. Not that it needs to be perfect, but just cleaner. And I think that would be somehow, somewhat, somewhere, whenever enough here. Okay. Getting something slightly better. The edges as well, I will do. And all of a sudden it will look just so much better. because it's cleaner, and instead of a mess we will have some real effect. So here I have a slight glow, so trying to correct the brush the white that I applied with the brush here without changing too much, because I have a nice glow applied with an airbrush earlier. But it's always easier to apply. Yes, oh my gosh. Just this, and it's a lot better, isn't it? So, you see, no panic. And now I will reapply highlights with my brush. This is a comfortable level of, you know, grittiness. And I apply the highlight, so I also need something that is pretty diluted, and so that's really the key, so I don't need to blend and blah blah. So yes, areas of interest like this, for instance, it's a bit too strong, it's better. But you see, because it's, you know, it's still a purple, it's nothing crazy. So here I want to leave it dark, because dark is pretty fitting for what we have. So I don't even blend, but you see, it's not really noticeable that there is no blend. You see, I think. Okay. As here I want it pretty dark, here as well. Okay, I think almost there. So that's the main work that is happening here on this guy, because really yeah, that's enough for the highlight here and there. Maybe slightly here in the very center, the very top. Yeah, I think that's enough. Cool. And then there will be the second pass, and then the other color, and then the dry brush over it to, you know, have the, how to say, the everything that is not in the recess is darker, so that we have this inner glow effect. And that's about it, I think, for today's live. So guys, I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed seeing me painting these Tyranids, and the best would be that you've learned something, or at least enjoyed enough to subscribe if you want guys to ride along and enjoy for the other lives. You can subscribe so you will be notified. You can also check my long form videos. I have a few dioramas on there, and the shorts where usually I post a highlight of the live painting sessions. Thank you very much guys for tuning in, and see you next time.